Assessments, for your Chapter 11 and Chapter 12 final formative assessments, I'm actually going to have you take your multiple choice and free response questions on the AP Classroom because that is where they're going to have you take your final exam. So I want us to start practicing using that environment. Let me show you what you're going to do. So for this particular test, you're going to go into the folder here for Chapter 11 to access the necessary documents. Right here, I'm just talking about the link to get to your AP Classroom for the College Board is right here. Remember, hopefully your sign in. If not, you can help you reset that. And then once you're in your AP Classroom, you're going to find the multiple choice assessment and take it for Unit 8, which is our Chapter 11, but they call it Unit 8. And then you're going to take a free response. What's going to happen is I'm going to set these up so you actually see the correct answers at the end. So we'll take the multiple choice first, and then I'm going to have you just reflect kind of personally inside about your performance on the multiple choice. But on the free response, what's going to happen is when you're done with it, it's my understanding that they've told me you can go in and you're actually going to see the scoring rubrics, and I want you to score yourself electronically online. And then I will go in once you're done with your two assessments and look at your performance. So let me show you what I know about the AP website that you're going to have. Right here is a document. It's a student guide to the AP Classroom, and I'm just going to kind of walk through that really quickly, but pull this up and we're going to go straight to page 6 on that one. And I'm going to show you how to get to the classroom. This right here is the link to the AP Classroom. And then again, all of your assessments will be on there. They're not going to be these two that you see here anymore. So if we go into the AP Classroom, what you're going to do is this. Once you've logged in, so go on in there. And I don't want to show you when I log in because it's a completely different look. So let's just go to this document that they have supplied for you. How do you access your assignments? Once you're in the board, for your classes, many of you have multiple AP classes, so you're going to see a few different ones. Just walking you through this, I'm on page 6 of their documentation. They're going to say pick the classroom you want to go to and select the AP Classroom is your first step. Once you're in there, step 2 says launch your class. You'll be taken to a home tab. Find your assignments in your recent activities. If you're enrolled in multiple AP classes, just pick the drop down in the upper left-hand corner here. Find the right class. You should be able to click here on the assessments to find it. Now, again, they don't give me the ability to go in and kind of play with this. So just read this documentation and get used to finding documents on this AP Classroom. Then you're going to go here and it says in the assessments tab in the upper right-hand corner. So sorry about jumping around here. Right in here, once you've clicked on that assessments tab and you're in the right course, change to AP Statistics, you should find all of the assessments. Now, the first one you're going to take here, again, for Chapter 11, if I go back to the folder and it says the test for Chapter 11, the first one is called Unit 8 Progress Check MCQ Part A. So that's what you're looking for is Unit 8 Progress Check. And then you're going to begin that assessment. Their next step is they're just kind of walking you through how to click it. You're going to say next question. It should be probably fairly obvious to you. So kind of look at this handy thing about going next and going back. You can save your progress, it looks like. The last question in the series is going to say, do you want to submit it? Walking through yes or no. Do you want to review any questions? They're going to ask you here, are you sure you want to submit? Are you done reviewing? And then you're going to get confirmation results at the screen that the quiz results have been set. And they're going to automatically correct it for you. Now, when you're done with that, I would recommend going in and reviewing these results first and then starting the free response portion. But if we scroll down here, one other thing I want to mention is the timed assessments. So I am going to put a time limit on here, but it's kind of an artificial time limit. It's just for you to get used to pacing. So if I put, for example, on the multiple choice, a 45-minute time limit, the test actually just stays open. And if you look at this, again, the documentation, they're going to talk about it on their screenshots. Right here, it's going to say here, when you start the assessment, the option to see the timer will appear. I would recommend having it show the timer if you want to, because your final exam through them is a 45-minute test. And I'm guessing that, it's going to show the timer. You're going to want that timer there, or probably have the same option. You decide. Then the clock is going to be here. For this one, if it was set at 2 minutes, once the 2 minutes is up, it's going to turn red, and then it's going to start timing. I guess maybe how many seconds or minutes beyond that time you have. I'm not exactly sure on that, but it's going to turn red. And then it says here, when the time expires, the message will be displayed. You may continue the quiz even if the time expires. Obviously, on the national exam, when the 45 minutes is up, it's going to be up for you. So this is just going to kind of help you get that feeling of taking this online test and having it be timed. If you're not done, do continue to go on and finish it, though. So like I said before, when you finish the multiple choice, I would review your assessment. And this documentation here is just going to show you how you can go and review it. So this page is page 13 on your study guide for the students. When you check the quiz and you want to look at the multiple choice answers, it should give you some overview in terms of why the answer is correct or not correct. So take a look at that. To score yourself on a free response, they should be showing you the assessment and the rubric, and you can score it accordingly. Now, obviously, on the national exam, they're not going to have you score it yourself, but this is good for you in your reflection and seeing what the correct answer is. And again, walking through this documentation on how to do everything. Checking your results, I think when you go back to your within your assessments tab, you can look at the performance and kind of bounce back and forth. So you have assignments here, you're going to have your progress, and you're going to have your results. So kind of just clicking through that and seeing how you're doing. And then I think they wrap up here, select an assignment if you want to look at the questions that you answered correctly and kind of analyze what you've done. So for now, in this Chapter 11 test of ours, again, Chapter 11 test is going to be their Unit 8 assessment. You're going to do the progress check for multiple choice and the progress check for free response. Again, this is just a formative assignment that's going to go into our grade book. I will put some timers on there just so you get the feeling of that timed environment. I will tell you, I believe this multiple choice test, there's around 15 to 16 questions. The free response is 2. So a lot of multiple choice questions. Obviously, you're not going to have those on the national exam. And then the free response, you're going to have 2 on that on this particular test, and we will find out shortly how many will be on that national exam. This is how I'm going to set up the Chapter 12 test also, again, to get you used to using this AP Classroom. When we hit our review, that's also going to be both on Schoology and within the AP Classroom, just so your comfort level is really there and you don't feel intimidated by the computer when you take your national exam, that you're comfortable with it and are just going to be ready to roll and do a great job on that. So as you start your Chapter 11 test on this one, please email me if you encounter any issues or questions. Again, I apologize for not having the ability to walk through as a student. I wish I could go through and experience what it's like for you so I could answer your questions. There is no possible tutorial they have not made for us. So the best I can do is find, again, within this Chapter 11 folder for this testing one, the student guide is about as much as I know about how it works for you. Good luck on this Chapter 11 assessment, and let me know if you have questions. Thank you.